Welcome in.
Dang me, it's the fucking yaw.
You needed some extra space back there. Welcome in to the PHNX D-backs postgame show right here on PHNX. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as your mayor of the postseason. This man next to me is in charge of all the lights in all of the stadiums. It's Mr. Electric himself, Shawn DePaz. Ski. We're doing that. That's our official song now.
Mo, where you at?
Where is Mo? We're looking for Mo.
Mo, where you at?
Mo is nowhere to be found right now.
Dodgers fans, where you all at?
Let's
BC, where you at?
Go. What
where you
a
at?
huge game one victory. The Arizona Diamondbacks absolutely pummeled the Los Angeles Dodgers. I don't know what your wildest dream is of how well this game could have gone for the D-backs, but this has to be it. This has to be beyond that because the Diamondbacks
certainly was.
were absolute beasts today. There's the snakes were snakes.
They were slithering.
They were slithering on offense early and often in this game. It started very early, and the Diamondbacks did something quite historic against Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah.
Per ESPN stats and info, Kershaw is now the first starting or relief pitcher in MLB postseason history to allow 5 hits and 5 runs before recording an out. And why is that? Because the Diamondbacks absolutely pummeled Clayton Kershaw tonight. Of course, we saw things get started off right away. Ketel Marte hit a leadoff double in the first inning, and the Diamondbacks did not stop from that point. Corbin Carroll looked like the absolute veteran that we know he is with his RBI single that got things started against Kershaw and put the Diamondbacks up on the board early. Pham singled in the inning. Walker doubled with an RBI double. Then, of course, with 2 on, Gabriel Moreno just busted this goddamn game wide open.
Gabby.
3-run bomb with a bat flip that gave the Diamondbacks a 5-0 lead. And this was all with no outs. And it's also the reason why I don't have much of a voice left because of all of the screaming and yelling me and these 2 guys were doing here in the studio. We definitely let Jesse down with the way we were celebrating. Some of the there was some excessive things said, but of course,
the motherfucking yaw.
it's the motherfucking yaws. But man, can you imagine this, boys?
No.
Can you imagine this?
I said they were going to lose before the game. So, no, I certainly can't imagine
He
it.
did.
To be fair,
He did.
I was in part doing that because
Reverse jinx?
a little bit.
A little bit of reverse jinx.
But also, I certainly did not expect it to go anything like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even, what is there to even say?
It's playoff.
They scored
Clayton
11
Kershaw.
runs on the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yep. Yeah. And we are fucking dangerous. In fact, Clayton Kershaw knows that for a fact now. The only out he recorded was a Lourdes Gurriel ground out. After that, Alek Thomas walked. Evan Longoria celebrated his 38th birthday, 38 years young, with an RBI single that put the Snakes up 6-0. And that would effectively end Kershaw's day. He would exit the game after pitching just 1/3 of an innings pitched. Injected into my goddamn veins. Just inject it directly into my veins.
I mean, could you imagine being a Dodgers fan?
Yeah.
It's gotta be a tough experience.
Can't.
Surprisingly quiet. I'm sure they
Not even a
all. I'm
little
sure they
bit.
all went to bed, so they can't really be.
Yeah,
up for the show.
where are they?
I don't know.
We usually have so many.
They're all over the place.
There were some in here stirring the pot, and I don't think they'll be returning anytime soon. But let's take a look at some of our super chats because I missed out on those. Charles Woodall Pike, bless you. He says the wagon is 3-0 in the Yoffs, 3-0 with the playoff stashes. And
Still
undefeated.
Although
Nicholas,
you're getting dangerously close to getting back to beard.
well, look, I have to go to a reggae festival in Las Vegas in about 6 hours, so I don't want to look like a cop. But
that's fair.
Nicholas Gruters says this is starting to feel like the Suns' finals run. I was happy just taking a few games from LA and then ran all the way to the finals. Let's ride. I completely agree with that. That was one of the most like fun I've had, because it was kind of like that, right? The Suns were kind of doing something that you're like, yeah, maybe this team is good enough, but I don't know, maybe like this, I don't know. I mean, they're good, but are they that good? And they made it all the way to the finals. Who the hell knows? Because after this win, how can you look at this Diamondbacks lineup and say that they aren't good and what they did to this Dodgers team?
I mean, genuinely, right now in the postseason, the Diamondbacks and the Phillies look like the two most dangerous teams.
Yeah.
Full stop. I mean, obviously the Astros too, but like
the day PHLY launched, we knew we were on a collision course to do battle with them. We just didn't know how epic that battle could be, and it could be in the NLCS, but we're not going to get there yet. But the Diamondbacks, we're not done yet. Even once Clayton Kershaw left the game, they continue to put it to the Dodgers. Corbin Carroll kicks off the second inning with a 421-foot dinger that pushed the lead to 7-0. There was some more runs scored. Tommy Pham singled. Walker got hit by a pitch. This was all in the second inning. Longoria hit a sac fly. Lourdes Gurriel had an RBI double that scored Tommy Pham. Basically, this was a 9-0 game for the majority of this game. Patrick Lyons is talking about the empty seats, all the yellow seats.
Real empty in there.
Yeah, there was Bob Costas, legendary sports announcer, even noticed when one particular fan left.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, he had his research together, but they were getting up and getting out. Brett Johnson, thank you for the super chat. He says, "We are so here. The Gabby bat flip with Kershaw hanging his head is the best thing. I need it framed now." Fuck, it was so good. And I mean,
I would retire if I was Clayton Kershaw.
Like you were talking about the fact that there was another shot right after that of Corbin and Gabby just next to each other, beaming, just laughing, just vibing. And man, that felt like a future that we get to experience here in Arizona for quite some time. So man, it's exciting to see those two guys being the ones to get it done. Flex got the $15 super chat. No, we missed it, but where is do we have the Flexes? Because Flex is the man. Flex is the best new Diamondbacks fan that we have. He has been providing us with the super chats. I guess he was going up $5 for every win. Yeah. So we're up to $15 from Flex. That's my guy. By the way, that really is my guy. I love working with Flex.
I do love
it. He's one of the coolest human beings I've ever met. So thank you, Flex.
I don't know where it went though.
I don't know. It disappeared. Yeah. I mean, maybe he's not such a good guy.
I'll take your word for it.
Maybe he's just saying he did it, but we're not finding it in here. So Michaela's still waiting on her apology.
No. I was hoping you were going to acknowledge it. I refuse to apologize.
Okay.
Well, I explained to everybody why I refuse to apologize. I did nothing wrong.
It's fine. Yeah. It's fine. We'll move on.
Okay, thank you.
You know why? Because we're not gonna dive into the negativity after an 11-2 win. We are gonna dive into more fucking home runs. Alek Thomas added a solo home run in the 7th.
You get a home run.
And Tommy Pham added a solo home run in the 8th.
You get a home run.
My God, man. I mean, it was just incredible. Keeping up with the offense in the first inning was a chore when you're trying to send out funny tweets about it. But I mean, to be honest, it was just incredible, unbelievable. Yeah. Just you couldn't have asked for a better night from the Diamondbacks. We had our concerns about pitching. We had our concern. Fuck all of that. The offense just automatically gave this team a lead and allowed them to not really have to worry about the rest of this potentially falling apart on them.
It is kind of hilarious though with Mert. Like the whole talk about Mert was obviously his trouble against the Dodgers coming in. And then he had, like, not just the best performance, he's probably, like, a downright great performance against the Los Angeles Dodgers. But who cares?
Yeah.
Like, of course, the time that he actually pitches well, they didn't even need him to pitch that well.
But he did. He was outstanding. Offense
went crazy. Yeah, it was outstanding. And, like, this was something, like you haven't seen the D-backs do almost at all, like, even in the regular season. It's just, like, a head-to-toe dominant. I mean, no, not some time negative. Obviously, Castro wasn't good, and so they can't say that it was perfect, but it was
almost perfect.
And Castro was not in the game if they're not winning 10-0.
That's very true.
Like it was like a head to toe, like whistle to whistle domination.
Pillar to post, baby. Pillar to post.
Not something you've seen from them very often this year.
Yeah.
Which if like that's the kind of output that they are going to have in these playoffs, it makes them a very terrifying team.
What a time for Merrill Kelly to have his first win against this Dodgers team. 0-11 coming into this game. He does get a 6-run lead right out of the gate, so I'm sure that made things a lot easier on him. But man, I mean, you can only imagine that he felt like the weight of this game was lifted off of his shoulders by the offense, which, as you said, is not something that these starting pitchers get very often.
Mm-hmm.
They do get run support. They do get this team playing for them, but it's not very often that they have actually had such a big offensive output that allowed the starter to go out there and have a 6-run lead after one and a 9-run lead after two.
Yeah, because in the pregame show, we had listened to Mert talk about how he can't be thinking about his struggles with the Dodgers and stuff like that because he'll beat himself before it. But like, you could say that as much as you want. Once you get on the, I have a hard time believing that's not somewhere in the back of his head.
You're not thinking.
But when you go up with a 6-run lead before you ever even take your hoodie off, like it's like, oh, I don't even have to be that good. Like I could just go out there and do my thing, and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And obviously, and I think when he's in that mindset, just being like, I just got to go out there, like nothing matters. I can just go out there and be myself.
Yep.
Like that's when you get Merrill the mainstay, and that's exactly what he was tonight.
He was absolutely the mainstay for this team.
The offense just didn't let up.
6 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks. Also, a devastating look that he gave to Torey Lovullo when Torey came out to try to pull him from the game. We have that. Look at this. Look at this look.
I didn't know he had this. That's so good.
He was hiding the biggest smile you've ever seen. Like, he literally needed to do this so that he wouldn't be sitting there just grinning from ear to ear as Torey approached him. Man. I mean, and he didn't want, I think we tried to lip read him here. I think he said, like, give me one more. I think he just wanted to get out of this. He just wanted the 7 innings pitched.
Complete.
But man, what a night. What a night for that guy. And I mean, again, what a time to get your first win against a franchise that has tortured you for a long time here as a member of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Mainstay of Double in the chat is making a tremendous point. Like, as much as I kind of just said it, it almost didn't matter. Like, this is a Dodgers team that is still the Los Angeles Dodgers and could have scored 6 runs in an inning at any point.
That's absolutely
fair.
And
so Merrill pitching the way he did through 6 1/3 or whatever it was, was crucial. Obviously, like, it's hard to imagine that Merrill is giving up 6 runs in an inning, or that at any point in the game, Torey would have even allowed him to do that much. But still, like, it is. I mean, you saw at the end there, like, with one swing of the bat, they scored 2 runs. Like it's not like it's still the Dodgers, right? And so Merrill's performance, although it's ultimately going to be a footnote in what this game is all about, was super crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, again, even if the bullpen just gave up 2 runs, that like you said, that probably in a closer game would not have been the pitchers that Torey relied on. But that is the benefit here to this game, to Merrill's start and to the big lead. The Diamondbacks were able to rest the high leverage guys that they are going to need in order to get through this series, get this win. And even if they are able to beat the Dodgers in this division series, those guys are going to be called on, the rest of the way. They've been worked a lot. Torey has gone to the bullpen a lot. I mean, the Diamondbacks literally just had 4 starting pitchers, it felt like, for the last month of the season. So the bullpen has been worked quite a bit and can use this rest, especially at this time. However, there's something to be said about too much time. And like I said, we'll get to that in regards to the Dodgers and their bullpen here in a minute. But that look from Merrill Kelly, devilishly handsome guy, just trying his best not to smile out there as big as he can on a night where he was absolutely incredible. It sums it up. That's how we're feeling right about now. We don't have to keep our emotions to ourselves, though. We're allowed to go crazy. A guy that we're going to go crazy for is our King Snake. And as much as we want to give it to Gabby, as much as they wanted to give it to Corbin, we had to give it to this guy. NLDS Tommy Pham. 4 for 5, baby. 1 home run, the 1 RBI from the home run, 3 runs scored, and just an absolute menace in this game against the Los Angeles Dodgers. You know that the Dodgers historically are sick of hearing Tommy Pham's name whenever he plays them on the teams that he's been on in this division. But man, this is probably one of his biggest games against the Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean it. And this is a guy who went 0-for in game 1 of the wild card series, and that was 2 games ago. And again, like, this is a game where the offense was just clicking, and damn near anybody could have been King Snake. But I mean, this is not the guy you're expecting to do this, right? Like, Corbin or Cattell does this.
There's a lot of guys you would expect to see here over Tommy Pham.
Like I've said before, what makes this team dangerous is when you get the supporting cast to start performing out of their minds.
Yep.
And that's exactly what Tommy Pham did tonight. Obviously, the home run wasn't all that important. Like it came, but still, it was still a home run. A home run he didn't think he was going to hit.
Mhm.
They asked him after the thing, and in classic Tommy Pham fashion, like, do you know it's going to be a home run? Not really.
Let's go to some of the super chats real fast. Chris has a super chat right there. Chris's super chat. Thank you so much for your super chat, Chris. He says, "How about Alek Thomas's 14 pitch at bat,
Oh my God.
ending with a dinger?" I have a note on this. According to Sarah Langs, that is the most pitches in a in an at bat ending in a home run in a postseason since pinch counts were tracked in 1988. The most pitches in a plate appearance ending in a home run in the postseason since pitch counts were tracked.
That's wild.
Going back to 1988.
Alek Thomas, stud.
Fucking stud.
Also a home run that I called. I just want to point out. I said he was going to hit home run. I don't know
He
if
did.
people remember or not.
I do remember that.
I did say that was going to happen.
I also remember us having a discussion about the younger guys and mostly Alek Thomas because of his struggles, needing to be more patient at the plate. Look at what the results are.
How about the longest at bat ever?
How about that? Piece of Yoshi, thank you for your super chat. He says, Perdomo sold his soul for the offense today. That's fine. Sometimes sacrifices have to be made. We know that around here. Brandon Buckingham, my hair. Brandon Buckingham says, thank you for the super chat. Regular season numbers mean nothing in the playoffs.
True.
Way to go, Kelly. That's absolutely the truth. None of that matters. No matter, you could have fucking 300 wins, which isn't really possible, or you could have 80. It doesn't matter. If you're here playing in the playoffs right now, it's all a wash at this point. Tanner, thank you for the super chat. He says, I was scared and stayed home, but not anymore because we are fucking dangerous. So let's go. Alucard says, if Gallen can pitch lights out for game 2 and our offense stays hot, there's a strong chance we close this out on Wednesday here at Chase Field with Brandon Fott on the mound. Thank you, Alucard, for your super chat. You guys are amazing, but holy shit. What an unexpected night. What an unexpected win. And this team is a goddamn wagon, and you should get, of course, the official shirt. Well, the unofficial shirt.
The unofficial official
But
shirt.
it's the unofficial official shirt of being a wagon. And, of course...
No, it's the official shirt of being a wagon.
It's the official shirt of wagons and all wagon-related success. But we are a wagon because we are fucking rolling, and it is a team effort. That's another part that makes this a wagon because this Diamondbacks team has absolutely all been doing it. So get that T-shirt. Go get it right now at PHNX Locker. Go get it so you get it for the playoffs. I ordered mine on like Friday and I got it like today.
Although it seems like we might be playing for a while.
I mean,
but
yeah,
you
you're
never
going to need
know,
it.
so get
You're
it
going to
now.
need it. You're going to need it. So go get that shirt. Of course, thank you guys for being here on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do so now. Sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss when any of our wonderful shows go live. If you are here, drop us a like. That's our attaboys. We always appreciate you guys doing the likes.
Do
and
it
of
for
course,
Gabby.
We also do it for
Gabby's
Gabby.
kid.
Do it for Papa Gabby. Also, if you're on the audio podcasting side, leave us a review. We always appreciate getting those reviews. And of course, we always love those 5-star reviews, especially. And make sure you subscribe on the audio podcast side as well. I will tell you, tonight, I have a crazy busy night. We all did around here. One thing we could all use is some factor meals to be in our freezer or refrigerator because they're not frozen. Freezer right here in the office.
You can freeze them to keep them good longer.
You can.
But they don't send them to you frozen.
And
so
it's not a good idea because they are fresh meals that are ready to eat. They take like 2 minutes to cook in the microwave. And of course, they're never frozen. And they do have an incredible variety. That again, you kind of need to eat it fresh. So make sure you do. But he's not wrong. I mean, we do this sometimes with all of our food. Sometimes we don't want to miss out on Factor Meals greatness. But make sure to check out their meal kits because if you're too busy, like we are, watching the Diamondbacks be a wagon, you need to think about feeding yourself. And of course, make sure you're eating healthy because on nights like this, there's not a lot of options. You're going to hit up a fast food place, you know it. And you would rather have a calorie-conscious option that keeps you under 550 calories per serving and provides you with 30 grams of protein per serving. So make sure to check out Factor Meals because not only are they super healthy, but they're absolutely incredible. We've said this before, but the little sauce or whatever they always add on, just it levels it up. Like, yeah, you've had ready-to-eat meals before, but never like this.
Chat. Mazel was on fire tonight.
Mazel is on fire tonight. Let's go.
Factor is gas. I will confirm.
Factor is gas. Yeah, absolutely. And the breakfast options especially are something to check out. They also have like cold pressed juices, shakes, and smoothies.
Go hard.
Yeah, I love the smoothies so much. The strawberry banana smoothie, incredible.
I'm a sucker for strawberry banana.
Absolutely. So you can rest assured also that you're making a sustainable choice when it comes to Factor. So make sure to check them out. Head to factormeals.com/PHNX D-backs 50 and use use code PHNX D-backs50 to get 50% off your order. That's code PHNX D-backs50 at factormeals.com/PHNX D-backs50 to get that 50% off. Also, of course, great night for BetMGM. Not a great night for my bets, but I'm okay with that. I took the over. I had the strikeouts for Merrill, but I took 3 strikeouts for Clayton Kershaw.
Oh my God.
He didn't even register 3 outs.
Oh my God. It sucks so bad being a Dodgers fan. It's terrible. It's also terrible betting on the. That's awful. That's the best misbet of all time.
It's fine. I'm fine with it.
That's the best way to miss that.
Fine with it. That's a great
Where
time.
are they?
Where are
they?
Where are the Dodgers fans?
Can you bring up the clock?
Are there
How long has the show been going on?
Hey, wait, there's Juan Fernandez is here. That looks like a Dodgers fan, so let's go.
How does he keep getting away with this? How does Kershaw keep getting away with this?
Yeah, we don't know that, but anyway.
At least Fernandez had the guts to show up.
Yeah, I appreciate you because your brethren,
good game.
Your brothers in arms have failed to show up. They've deserted you.
But I will say this though, of course, BetMGM did make this game more fun, and of course, if you haven't signed up for that yet, you should too. What do you got?
I got a free bet today. I put on the Diamondbacks to win the World Series.
Why not? That's
$2.
a great thing to do.
$2 free bet plus 900.
Damon cashed his bet in the first inning, so I think he was good on it.
He also, which we'll talk about later, maybe defeated James Outman again.
All right. And oh man, we got to talk about Jay not showering here in a minute, but I will let you guys know that if you're a new subscriber, if you're a new user to BetMGM, use our code of PHNX. Do this and you will get $200 in free bets instantly. And let me tell you, it's not going to be these offers aren't around forever. They change up all the time. So $200, this is a good one. Do not miss out as a new customer. Download the BetMGM Sportsbook app on iOS or Android, or visit betmgm.com and sign up with our code of PHNX. Deposit at least $10 and then bet that $10 at a standard odds price. Place a wager in the amount of at least $10 on a standard odds price, a qualifying bet. Once you do, you will receive $200 in bonus bets regardless of the outcome of your wager. So do that now. Get that money. Sign up for BetMGM and use that bonus code of PHNX. Again, place your first bet MGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile application of at least $10. You will receive $200 instantly in additional winnings regardless of your wager's outcome. Check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Shane, who I brought a Seattle Mariners t-shirt for tonight, talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
Ski.
Well, we usually reserve taking a look at the numbers until after the series, but we decided after an 11-2 game,
tonight.
Why not? Let's look at the numbers, Damon. 11 runs to 2, 13 hits to 4, no errors on either side. That starting pitching ERA. Quite one-sided. We probably shouldn't have done this.
How many
but we
games
did it
are there in
anyway.
the regular season?
There's 162 games in the regular season.
Maybe for the audio listeners. For the audio listeners, what's the starting pitching ERA there?
The starting pitching ERA for the Dodgers tonight was 162, and that was 0.00 on the D-back side.
Oof.
So advantage D-backs. Relief pitching ERA 5.19 on the Dodgers, 6.74 on the Diamondback side.
H-fucking-K.
Bullpen didn't get a lot of work tonight, and they did give up 2 runs, thanks Miguel Castro. But the runners in scoring position, batting average, pretty good here for the Diamondbacks. And of course, the 4 home runs to the 0 home runs. So why not? Yeah. They're
a motherfucking wagon, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, we just showed that to troll, basically, because it was it was, as we said, post to post, just ass kicking.
It was an ass kicking
by the Arizona Diamondbacks.
But there is one serious thing here. I mean, obviously we're riding high, and I know this is still a very dangerous Dodgers team, so the Diamondbacks are not going to take them lightly.
I'm enjoying this while I can.
We're going to enjoy this while we can. We can get our jokes in while we can,
especially while none of the Dodgers fans are in the chat to bring it up against us later on.
This shit might turn on us fast, so we don't want that to happen. But we will also say that this game does have actual impacts on this series. It really does. The Diamondbacks were able to not only not utilize their high leverage guys, but they were able to not utilize their bullpen very much. Meanwhile, the Dodgers bullpen had to basically throw a bullpen game. That's what they had to go out there and do. Making them go 8 1/3 innings pitched in game 1 is so big for the rest of the series.
It's so massive.
And I mean, the Dodgers bullpen is very good. They
Mhm.
have the third best ERA in baseball at 3.42, and they were well rested coming into this. But I mean, there is something to be said about perhaps being too well rested. And I'm not saying on the relief end, but for the Dodgers in general, the Diamondbacks came in hot. They came in playing. They got a game, a day off. They got a couple, like they didn't have too much time off, but they did get some time to rest, something that they haven't really received up to this point. And I do think that this is a good thing for the series going forward, obviously. And the impacts could be, it could be detrimental to the Dodgers as far as their chances in this series. I mean,
100%.
They obviously tried to keep themselves active with an inter-squad game, but inter-squad games are not real games. Those aren't real games.
No, I mean, there's nothing you can do. Like when you go into game one thinking you're one of the best pitchers in the history of your franchise is taking the bump, you're not expecting to have to bring in your bullpen 2/3 of the way through the first inning. And that obviously, like, that's a point I made as soon as it happened. Basically, like, this puts the Diamondbacks in a great position because the one thing, like, their weakness was their starting pitching. And now they're in a position where they need their starting pitching to really, I'm not going to say to have a chance because it's still anybody's series, but like, if they want a chance, like, it's going to be very hard for them to win games unless they get great outings from their starting pitching, which they have not really been able to expect for a lot of this year.
Right.
So it does set them up to, obviously when you get into a team's bullpen this early into this extent in a series, like, it's going to be good no matter what, but especially considering the type of team the Dodgers are, it attacks their biggest weakness. And, oh damn, shout out Fernandez.
Let's
Dodgers
go,
fan in the
Fernandez.
chat. Good Dodgers fan of the chat. Love it.
He says, who wants a blowout game anyway? Oh,
they're boring. This was part of our plan.
Hey, man.
I mean, hey.
Whatever.
If y'all come back and win the series, you're going to look real smart afterwards, but we appreciate the super chat nonetheless.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. And Albert, with his super chat, says, just got in from the Rising game. What'd I miss? A lot of offense, Albert. A lot of offense, but we appreciate you being here, pal. I mean, honestly, though, going back to the layoffs, right? Braves and Dodgers both lost
Different kind
today.
of yoffs.
The offs. They're
yoffs.
They're, I mean, you can't, right? I mean, that's one thing about baseball. I've said it countless number of times before. I've said it in so many different instances too. Like when a pitcher comes back from time off or when a player comes back from time off, baseball is just such a weird game where it takes so long sometimes for guys to ramp up. Some guys are special. Some guys are aliens. Those rules don't apply to them. But for the majority of baseball players, it feels like the consistent thing is that it takes you a while to kind of get in a groove, and just having sometimes nearly a week off like the Dodgers did, that might be enough to kind of throw you off and have a game like this.
I don't even know if it's so much about the rest, but the problem with the way the playoffs, or not the problem, but the problem, I guess, for a team like the Dodgers and the teams with rest, with the way the playoffs are set up, is like, it's not like you're playing another team you're playing a team that's just won at the very worst 2 out of their last 3 games, and those being the biggest games of the season. Like the wild card teams are always going to be hot teams, more or less, especially in these playoffs where all of them basically just kick the ass of the other team in the wild card. So every team that these teams that had off are playing are teams that just won 2 straight games. And it just so happens that 3 of the 4 won their games. I don't think it just so happens. I think it is in large part because they're playing teams like the Diamondbacks and the Phillies specifically are 2 teams that are just kind of on fire. They're 2 teams that I wouldn't really want to play right now. Especially in that Phillies series where they're the division rivalry. I mean, I guess it is here too. There's a lot of just really good playoffs.
It's so good,
but
it's so good.
Like it's a team that has to now, like, they have to go through not a learning curve, I guess, but like I feel like it takes a second to get settled into the postseason. But doesn't really matter in the wild card when both teams are going through that. Here, it's a team that's hot, a team that's gotten settled into the postseason, going up against a team that hasn't been there, and also has, again, the pressure that we talked about a lot with the Dodgers consistently choking in the postseason. Well, now that pressure ramps up because now you're a game down to a team that you're supposed to own, right? And it's like, oh man, are we doing the thing again?
Well, I know we're doing this thing again. Damon? Do we have a special request there from Jacob in the chat? Do we have the Tory video ready? Is that available?
Give me a half second.
Okay. All right, we'll get that for you, Jacob, because we all want to be fired up. But the Diamondbacks, this is a reminder by the way, and speaking to Damon, and I know he's going to be furious that I introduce him or this while he's looking at stuff, but Damon does own James Outman, by the way, and tonight was just further proof of that. Is that right, Damon?
I mean, I just starting off the game like that. I would argue he's the reason they lost.
I wouldn't argue. I would say it's an objective fact, and if you disagree, you are wrong.
It really was just a wild like oh
yeah.
Wow.
We haven't talked about this yet.
I mean, we really haven't.
The game started on the guy who, for most of the year, at least beginning of the year, was competing, quote unquote, competing with our rookie for Rookie of the Year.
The real Roy.
The first batter of the game got hit straight to him, and he dropped it. And it was a hard hit ball. But he dropped a ball that was in his glove to start game 1 of the NLDS.
And they didn't even call it an error.
Which is crazy. But
they didn't.
I mean, I tweeted it. The moment was just too big for James.
He didn't want it.
Yeah.
It was too big. He's not a big game player.
No, he's not.
It's unfortunate.
He's no Corbin Carroll.
He's no out man.
Oh,
either.
You mean the guy who is a big game player who hits moonshots 440 feet,
biggity bombs?
All right,
doesn't ever shrink.
Yeah, I needed to give Damon his moment there, but I appreciate getting that out. Of course, go get yourself this wagon shirt, guys. This wagon shirt is incredible. I really I can't lie. Not only do I like representing the wagon, but I like the way it looks. It's a good looking shirt. I'm very excited to. Again, I'm heading out to Las Vegas in like 30 minutes. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing, but this is what's happening. I'm going to celebrate by putting all of my money in my bank account on the Arizona Diamondbacks to win the World Series. That's what I'm going to do.
I believe in the Diamondbacks too, Derek. But
did I just break a rule by doing that? I mean, what's wrong?
Emma's here.
Oh, Emma's here.
That so threw me. There's nothing weirder than when you think you're alone somewhere and then someone else just walks in and you're like
10 o'clock at night. Yeah.
But yeah, I would save a few dollars.
Okay.
Just in case you need for emergencies or anything like that.
You sound like my mom. But anyway, go get this shirt. If you have a few dollars, make sure to get yourself a diehard membership. It'll pay for itself, by the way. You get yourself
one of any of our shirts.
Look at these fucking beautiful shirts. Go get yourself a shirt.
Talk about the
PHNXLocker.com.
I guess they weren't the answer backs.
Answer backs. I mean, sometimes they're the answer backs, and sometimes they're a wagon.
The answers.
Sometimes they're just it.
Sometimes they're the truth.
They are the absolute truth, and you can represent the truth with this playoff season. This wonderful collection of playoff season shirts. Of course, also get yourself that membership at gophnx.com. You will get a free shirt from the PHNXLocker.com. You also get 20% off all future purchases. Get access to our members-only Discord lounge. Get all sorts of wonderful members benefits, including discounts with our partners. You get a $50 gift certificate from Mountain Mike's. Get a Dobson Ranch card. You get members-only access to certain merchandise, discounts to events, all sorts of stuff. So make sure to sign up today. Become a diehard member now.
Dude, AZ Sports Girl's comment just when Kershaw was crying, I was laughing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a crazy.
I just imagine. I imagine her, and it's my avatar, so it's funny I'm saying this, but I imagine her as my avatar, just drinking Kershaw's tears like Cartman in that one episode when he ate that kid's family.
There's lots of people in the chat calling for Emma now.
There's a lot of people. Emma, you're taking over our chat. But anyway,
I just said you were here, and they were like,
"Oh, Emma's here." Yep. All right, here she comes.
Oh, Emma, do you mind telling the people what the Arizona Diamondbacks are?
Yeah.
A motherfucking wagon.
Let's go.
Yes, man. They're a motherfucking wagon.
Let's fucking go.
It's the motherfucking Yoss. Damn straight.
That's the energy. That's the energy we needed in here after all of those scoreless innings to get us through this. But,
psycho material.
ASU game tonight.
Don't talk. We don't got to talk about that.
I'm not, but I'm just going to say I really wanted to watch it. I didn't have a way to watch it, but then I remembered I did have a way to watch it, and that was Fubo TV.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry, if you're a DirecTV person, I don't know what to tell you, but you can watch it on Fubo TV, and it's one of the only places that you could have been streaming today's ASU versus Colorado game. They have 140 live channels of sports, shows, movies, and news, and of course, you can stream live TV from any device, so you could have watched it from wherever you were at. You can watch the most Arizona sports for the lowest price, and of course, there's no contract, no cable, no hassle. Just sign up and start watching. 1,000 hours of cloud DVR storage included at no extra charge, and of course, you can watch your local teams while traveling, including this goddamn wagon right here. So make sure to check out all of the upcoming events, including the World Series on Fubo TV, as well as college football, NFL, and so much more. Watch all of your favorite college football and NFL games with Fubo. Go to FuboTV.com/PHNX to sign up for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro. And now we got Petey in the house. It's an all-star cast.
Wagon.
It is an
Yeah.
all-star cast. Everybody knows.
Wagon.
Who is what are the Diamondbacks, Petey?
They are wagon.
There we go. Attaboy.
Get on or get run over.
Yep. Of course, again, Diamondbacks future is so bright. You need yourself a good pair of sunglasses. So get yourself some Shady Rays. It's gear built to last. It's an independent sunglass company with a world-class product, and they are just as good as expensive sunglasses, durable frames, and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection plan in all of eyewear. Of course, they are backed by a loss of broken plate replacement plan where if you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us that they will send you a brand new pair. No questions, no shame, no guilt, nothing. They're just going to send you new sunglasses and replace your old ones.
They may shame you and guilt you if you're a Dodgers fan, but not because you broke your glasses.
It's because your team lost 11-2. That's the reason they're going to do that. But you can shop their entire collection at the Kierland Commons location here in town. It's a full-stop shop for all things Shady Rays. And of course, if you don't love your Shady Rays, exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back long after you make a deal. Leah,
I feel like you need to tell the people.
What are the Arizona Diamondbacks?
The D-backs are a wagon.
There we go.
Here we
There
go.
Certified.
They're a motherfucking wagon.
Certified.
Certified.
Bona fide.
Certified.
Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. And now I'm ready. These guys got me fired up. Petey got me fired up. Emma absolutely got me fired up. Leah got me fired up. Can we get Tori to get me fired up?
Are you fucking kidding me? Listen, this is part of the journey. We're not there yet. Let's enjoy it. Let's embrace it. Let's fucking party. And a connected team is a fucking dangerous team. We are fucking dangerous. Let's fucking party.
We are fucking dangerous.
Oh my God, a connected team is a dangerous team. Oh man, I mean, obviously, this is just one win. Dodgers are a very good team. I know there's people. I know there's people in the chat that are going to be telling us to pump our brakes. And I'm sure once Jesse arrives, he's going to tell us to pump our
playing with
brakes.
house
but
money. We were never supposed to be here. I'm gonna enjoy. We
Go
can
off.
lose the next
Go off.
3 games. I'm not gonna give a shit because all I'm gonna remember is that the Diamondbacks beat the Dodgers 11-2. And we were never supposed to be here in the first place. So who cares?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna enjoy it. And you know what's gonna happen? The Dodgers could win the next 3 games by a combined score of 40-0, and you're still not gonna be able to tell me shit. Because we walked in to Dodger Stadium and we kicked your ass in game 1. We might have retired Clayton Kershaw, and I'm gonna be able to take that to my grave. There's nothing you're gonna be able to do about it.
Caesar was asking, are we popping bottles again? No, we are not. Not after a game 1 victory. We don't do that. We were just doing that. 1, it was requested, and 2, can you really get enough of that clip? Because I honestly can't. So anyway, that's one thing to say about tonight's win is tonight's win was definitely a statement victory.
Yeah.
Of course, aggregate scoring does not count in baseball, so none of these runs carry over to the next game. There was talk during the game from the broadcast crew, I think, about like saving runs for tomorrow night. Fuck that. Nah, man, stay in the groove.
I do have to say,
hit 20 home runs.
I love Bob Costas, but he should not be calling playoff baseball games. He does not meet the moment. He's great for the Olympics. He's great when things are all luxurious and big, but he didn't meet the moment. The energy of a playoff baseball.
Well,
game.
no, yeah, definitely. He was out of it early on, which definitely made. I know he's a professional. I'm not going to attack him in that way, but it gave off very Dodgers fan vibes.
One thing I will say, maybe to his defense, I'm just curious about how broadcasters like. I wonder how difficult it is to bring that energy and stuff like that when you're in a ghost town that is Dodger Stadium.
No, it's true. We were talking about
everyone's
how
quiet, the seats were empty. It's got to be hard to provide that energy.
This is no joke, but we were talking about how excited we were in the first and second inning, and then this game kind of
the 8th inning, we were kind of.
Yeah, just kind of. I mean, and we still had the couple of scoring runs. The Diamondbacks still went on, to make this an 11 run game, but still, yeah, it was hard to. It's hard to keep that energy when the Diamondbacks just put it on the Dodgers. Like this was a rout. This was a very one-sided blowout victory, is what it was.
Yeah. And I mean, Like, I think an important thing to point out, right, is they scored 6 runs on Kershaw.
Mhm.
They scored another 5 on people not named Clayton Kershaw.
Mhm.
So, like, and I know Fernandez is in the chat talking about how, like, this was all just because Kershaw sucked. First off, they scored 2 runs, and they didn't do it until we sent in one of our worst relievers. By not to say Castro was bad, but I mean by the standards of this roster, of this bullpen. Like we were saying, this was a wholehearted ass kicking. Like,
Yeah.
Diamondbacks outpitched, they out-hit, they outfielded.
Yeah.
In every way. Like, Kershaw had nothing to do with the fact that the fact that James Outman failed to make 2 different plays in the first inning in the center field. It had nothing to do with James Outman. Again, the bullpen, the home runs that came after, or just the runs that came after Kershaw was out of the game, had nothing to do with Kershaw. So, like, the fact that Mert pitched to shutout 6 1/3 or whatever it was had nothing to do with Clayton Kershaw. So, sure, this game doesn't look nearly as bad if they have probably any other starting pitcher in. But still, it's not just because of Kershaw.
I mean, Clayton Kershaw, though, is notoriously bad in the playoffs.
Yes.
Right? And now what you have tonight is his worst start in his notoriously bad playoff career.
I mean, genuinely one of the worst starts in the history of
it's factually
baseball.
Per
ever.
ESPN stats and info, it is in fact. I mean, yeah, you could say other things, but Kershaw's the first starting or relief pitcher in MLB postseason history to allow 5 hits and 5 runs before recording an out. That is by far one of the worst. I mean, it's bad enough for a reliever, but I think that would be less shocking if it was a relief pitcher.
Yeah, if Miguel Castro did that, I mean, if Miguel Castro did that, I would be sitting here being like, Torrey, what the fuck are you doing? Why is he still in the game?
But the fact that a relief pitcher has never even done that, he's the first pitcher in postseason history to do it.
Crazy.
That, I mean, I think that really stresses how bad this outing was for him. You know, and I mean, again, the big thing was we came limping into the playoffs. The Diamondbacks definitely needed help from other teams winning. They did not secure that final win that they needed in order to like win their way into the playoffs themselves. But with the way that they came into this, the offense was by far our biggest question. We knew that when it came down to it, we had 2 absolute studs in Merrill and Zach. And I mean, this start by Merrill, again, just like this entire outing, is it's better than we could have asked for, better than you could have imagined, right? But for the offense to be doing what it's doing right now, when it did kind of limp into the postseason, is remarkable. You know, I mean, the Phillies are a very good team. They seem very hot right now, like you said, but the Diamondbacks are absolutely in a position right now where, you know, they're just the Dodgers really seem to be on their heels. You know, you just need to kind of get those couple of knockout punches in, but it really does feel like this was like, you know, that first big uppercut in a heavyweight fight that just almost knocked the dude out. Like that's how significant this win feels. Can't get too ahead of ourselves, obviously, because there's 2 more wins that are needed. But
I like it really put them on it clearly puts them on the back foot. Like this is now the Diamondback series to lose. They stole home field advantage. They have done the one thing that they could do so far, and win a game. So like, there's still obviously a series to be played. But as it sits right now, the Diamondbacks need to win 2 games and the Dodgers need to win 3. And I would much rather be in that position than the position the Dodgers are. I don't care if they have a stronger lineup because they didn't show up today. I don't care if they have a better bullpen because that didn't matter today. Like, I don't care if they have better fielding because they didn't today. Like, they did the one thing they could do. So, like, I mean, Dodgers fans can sit here all they want talking hypothetically about how the rest of the series is going to go. But the fact of the matter is, the Dodgers lost game 1 to the Arizona Diamondbacks. And so now this is very much their series. And even if they lose tomorrow, they're going back with 2 games at Chase Field to win. It's a great it's a great position to be in. And
Merrill Kelly is going to pitch again.
Yeah, and Dodgers fans can say all they want, but you're lying to yourself if you're not a little afraid now.
Yeah.
Because the Diamondbacks just put up 11 runs.
You should be.
They scored 5 the game before and 6 the game before that against another team that had won a division. Like, this is clearly a good baseball team, at least right now. clearly a very dangerous baseball team right now. So this is by no means like, I mean, prior to the series, I was saying like I thought the Dodgers were going to win tonight. I thought the Dodgers would probably win this series. I always thought there was a chance the Diamondbacks won, but I thought that they probably would if you were asking me. And I don't feel that way anymore. I genuinely, at the very least, don't know. But I feel like this is a good spot for the Diamondbacks to be in and that they very well could win this series.
Pedro Martinez said it when we talked to him in the TBS Zoom meeting yesterday, but he said that basically the Diamondbacks really have nothing to lose here. The Dodgers are the ones that have all the question marks about them. They're the ones that have something to prove, and the pressure is really on the Dodgers because the Diamondbacks have nothing to lose. That was evident to say, and I think that was apparent with the way Kershaw pitched.
I love Fernandez so much. People are just coming at him, and he's like, I don't care what you got to say. I just want to hear bad things about Clayton Kershaw.
He's here to talk shit about Clayton Kershaw.
Fernandez, Clayton Kershaw, he sucked tonight.
He really did.
He was really
awful.
bad, and he might never. I would never pitch again if I was Clayton Kershaw personally.
Yeah, Fernandez gave us a super chat, so
I very
he's
much
cool with us.
Listen, we appreciate our supporters, but we appreciate you too.
You guys are awesome. Going back to the Alek Thomas home run, by the way, not only was it the most pitches in a plate appearance ending in a home run in the postseason since pitch counts were tracked in 1988, it is the most pitches in a plate appearance ending in a home run in Arizona Diamondbacks franchise history, regular season or postseason.
Yeah, and I mean,
14.
The point that you made earlier, like coming from, like that's obviously impressive from literally anybody. Corbin Carroll does that, and he hits a home run. We are still freaking out about how crazy of an at-bat that is.
But we expect that based on the way Corbin Carroll's been performing.
And it's not so much that just that Alek is not the most prolific hitter on this team, but when you consider what he was doing in the wild card, especially game one, where he looked lost, like some of the worst swings I've seen a professional baseball player take in the postseason. It was awful.
Yeah.
And for him to turn it around to what we saw today is crazy because he's a young guy too. Everyone always talks about Alek or like Corbin being the rookie, but like Alek is really young.
Yeah.
So like this is his first time in the postseason too. Yeah. So for him to be able to deal with this, especially at a place like Dodger Stadium, because I know they took the energy out of that stadium quick, but at the beginning it was
rocking.
It's Dodger Stadium man, in the postseason. And for him to kind of be able to overcome that is huge.
Rudy in the chat says, got to take advantage of a rookie starting on the Dodgers side on Monday. And that's another thing. The Dodgers don't have this, the starting pitching rotation that they once had. I mean, but we were talking about it tonight. I mean, two of their starting pitchers that probably, if history was different, would be probably pitching in this series are not even on the team any longer due to domestic violence situations. Right. So it's like the Dodgers aren't the same team that they were, and hats off to them for handling those situations in the best possible way an organization can. But it's not to say that they did not lose some of the pitching that they thought they were going to be able to rely on, especially here in the postseason, due to these personal matters that are embarrassing for both the person involved and the organization, right? But I will say that in regards to the Arizona Diamondbacks things are sunny over here. It's always sunny here in Phoenix, but Corbin Carroll and Gabriel Moreno's remarkable starts to the postseason. You couldn't ask for anything more.
No.
And I mean, again, these guys are handling it where I know that maybe opposing fans are unfamiliar with them, so they don't maybe have that same feeling when they're at the plate. But I know that we very much are here for all of the Gabby and Corbin at bats, because we feel like they are instantaneously some of the most important at bats in a game. Again, we gave you Moreno stats before the game, but he was vital down the stretch. The Diamondbacks with Gabby Moreno in the lineup were just a better team.
Yeah.
And I know we have some clips from the locker room. So do we have Ketel's feedback on tonight's win?
It's not easy to play here, man. I'll tell you that. It's a lot of fans here. I mean, we might get a little pressure. I don't know. Compete with the Dodgers, you gotta play 9 innings, and then nothing. We good. We gotta continue to work hard, and we're gonna be all right.
Like, that's such a, again, we think that stuff doesn't matter. We really do.
Yeah.
And for him to say it's not easy to play here, It's not. I think there's certain places that the Diamondbacks have played well lately that are kind of like imposing.
I mean, Wrigley Field,
Yankee Stadium, Dodger Stadium. I know the Yankee Stadium isn't what it was.
Well, I mean, they also didn't have a great series.
No, they didn't. But
no, you're right. Nonetheless, like it is. I mean, especially the 9-inning shutout from Gallen against the Cubs was like that thing where I was just like, oh man. But yeah, I mean, clearly, like, first off, it's awesome to hear Cattell talk. You don't hear that very often, I feel like. And for that clip almost seemed like it was coming off of a loss because he's like, we're going to be all right. But still, like, yeah, like, you can't ignore the atmosphere that is Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Like, Dodgers fans are you could talk as much shit as what you want about Dodgers fans and all that stuff. And I mean, for some, they're kind of proving the point why right now. But like, they show up and they're loud. So like, you can't ignore it. Like, it obviously is a factor in how these games go. And so, especially for them to acknowledge that it's a factor and then for them still to turn out a performance like this.
Yep.
It's impressive.
We also have Christian Walker, who was saying that basically he had feedback on how this is proof to this team that they can trust themselves in this moment and be confident in themselves to win.
Day-to-day is funny, especially in games like this, with off days in between and stuff. But yeah, I think that was enough proof to ourselves that we can trust ourselves in the moment and be confident, and we have a reason to be confident. We're a really good team. Anybody can execute on any given day, but if we're locked in and we're relying on each other, I think the proof is there that we can trust that.
Man, I mean, he's not wrong though, right? If they're locked in and they're relying on each other and they don't have to, like, again, the idea there that you're not the guy, right? You're not the only one that's going to do it. And when you see your teammates doing it, that's that confidence building. I mean, Tommy Pham was the guy tonight. Tommy Pham. I mean, 4 for 5. When you look at other guys' nights,
team in July.
He was not on this team in July. Ketel Marte went 1 for 5. Corbin 2 for 5. Christian Walker 1 for 3. Gabby, again, another guy that had a good night, 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs. So it's like there were contributions all around. Gurriel went 1 for 5 with a double and RBI. Alek Thomas had the home run. That was his only hit of the night. But I mean, again, it came from everybody. It came from everybody. That's why Tommy Pham definitely stuck out as the guy tonight, because he went 4 for 5, but you could have easily given it to a number of other players on this team. And that is really what it comes down to, that ability to know that the guys are going to pick you up and that you are going to have them there, that you're not the only one that has to do it. Do we have Alek Thomas as well?
We're here. I mean, this is a different Diamondbacks team than in the past, and we're going to do whatever we can to get a W at the end of the day. So definitely different from the past Diamondbacks teams, and we're just going to keep on playing our brand of baseball and try to get this thing right.
Making a statement.
We're here.
We're fucking here.
We're here.
We are here, and we are a wagon. Let's go.
Also, they're talking in the chat. What do you think Mad Bum's doing right now?
That's a good question.
Do you think he's watching baseball? Or
No.
Is he like
No. I don't know, because like, okay, so sometimes I just scroll doom scroll like on Twitter or something, but that's not a good place for him to be right now. That is absolutely not a good place for him to be. That is not a safe space for Kershaw. But I mean, who cares, right? Honestly, right now I'm just so excited that the Diamondbacks have been doing it the way they've been doing it, out homering their opponents, not only in the series against the Brewers, but now tonight, 4 home runs to nothing for the Dodgers. And it's just it's an incredible thing to further the narrative that Clayton Kershaw is not a good playoff pitcher. I'm all on board with that.
Listen, and I was by no means hoping for it, but I was always fully aware of the fact that like there's always a chance that changes. I brought up David Price the other day. Like, he was notoriously a bad postseason pitcher until the one postseason where he was a great postseason pitcher, and then the narrative was gone. Like, it just takes one postseason, and I was worried it was going to be this one, but it wasn't. It was the opposite. It was the worst thing I have ever seen from a starting pitcher in the postseason.
It's crazy.
It's like,
It's
can you
just
believe
crazy.
it?
I really can't.
Did you ever think that we would be in this situation?
Not in this situation, no. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to make it out like I doubted the Diamondbacks to the point where I didn't believe they could have a good game against the Dodgers. But this particular game and this particular win, the way they did it, it's just
there's no realistic reason to believe that this was going to go on like this. And so that just it makes it so much more fun.
Yeah,
Because
crazy.
I was not talking shit before. Like, I was very purposely. I was giving the Dodgers a lot of respect. They're a very good baseball team, and that cannot get lost. Despite how bad Clayton Kershaw was tonight, we cannot lose sight of the fact that they did this to a very, very good base. This isn't the Brewers. This is one of the best teams in baseball. They won over 100 games.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of the best teams, and I don't give a shit about their track record. I mean, I do. But their track record of losing in the playoffs, of Kershaw not being in the playoffs, all of that. There was 4 first ballot Hall of Famers on the field for the Dodgers tonight, probably. Right?
Yeah.
Kershaw,
Freeman,
Mookie Betts, JD Martinez, probably. I don't know about JD.
Probably not
I'd have
JD,
to look
but
into
at
it.
least
But
three.
at least 3, bare minimum.
Yeah.
First ballot Hall of Famers. And another guy who's going to finish in the top 3 or 4 voting for Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
Like, that's a very good baseball team. And the Diamondbacks, they didn't just beat him, they took it to him.
Well, we got the one guy that was there of
Elizabeth
this crew
said the
that was
chat
present.
demands Friedman.
The chat demands Friedman, says Elizabeth. Well, when the chat asked for Friedman, they gave Friedman. Here he is. Jesse Friedman, Thunderstick, my vice mayor. What a night for the Diamondbacks in LA, Jesse.
What a night. I mean, this is what everyone saw coming, I assume.
Yeah.
Right?
We absolutely knew this was the way that things
Six,
were going to go.
And
six
thus,
runs
Derek and I have
against
been
Clayton
very civil.
Kershaw in the very first inning of the game. I don't know whose bingo card that wasn't on. But yeah, it was an absolutely wild game here at Dodger Stadium for the Diamondbacks. Just the ability to come out the way that the Diamondbacks did. Clayton Kershaw becomes the first pitcher in MLB postseason history to give up 5 runs, to give up 5 hits and 5 runs before recording his first out of the game. And ultimately, of course, he only recorded 1 of those before he departed this game. Clayton Kershaw was not. I mean, we talked about this a lot leading up to this, right? That Clayton Kershaw is maybe not the guy that he once was. He's always had a bit of a shaky, reputation as a starting pitcher, or a shaky reputation in the playoffs as a starting pitcher, I should say. But this wasn't like playoff Kershaw. This was just Kershaw being kind of a shell of himself, I think. The velocity wasn't necessarily, horrible compared to where it was in the regular season or anything. I think it was right around average. But yeah, I mean, you could tell from the jump, Clayton Kershaw just didn't really have it in this game. And it was interesting, a lot of people asked Diamondbacks hitters after this game about the approach that they had against Kershaw and being pretty aggressive. And, what were you looking for? What was the game plan? And they would not say much. The D-backs suspect, and I believe Dave Roberts said after the game, that Clayton Kershaw would pitch in game 4 if necessary, if we get to that point. And so you can tell the Diamondbacks, they've found something here, and they don't want anyone to know about it.
Hell
Could
yeah.
you imagine being a Dodgers fan right now and thinking, best case scenario, we win the next 2 games, and then we got to throw Clayton Kershaw back out there in game 4 on the road? Not ideal if you're a Dodgers fan.
I mean, and even the games between now and then, right? I mean, you've got Bobby Miller going in game 2. He's a young pitcher. He's a rookie. The D-backs, he pitched very well against the D-backs in his first outing against them this season, but did not pitch particularly well in his last outing against the Diamondbacks in the regular season. And then game 3, Dave Roberts has yet to say exactly what the Dodgers would do in that game. It seems like Lance Lynn could be a possibility there. I know Emmett Sheehan threw a number of pitches in this game, so it seems like he might not be an option. Ryan Pepio is still out there as an option for that game. So yeah, I mean, this is the state of the Dodgers right now. It's Clayton Kershaw just not being the pitcher that he once was, and it's some young guys who certainly have some potential. I mean, I think Bobby Miller's a great pitcher. I think Ryan Pepio, now that he's throwing strikes, has a chance to be a pretty good pitcher in this league. But come playoff time, the Dodgers don't have what the Diamondbacks have in Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly. And Merrill, I mean, there's been this narrative, and we've talked about it a lot, of Merrill Kelly just not being able to win against the Dodgers. He picked a pretty good game to get his first career win against the Dodgers on the biggest stage that he's pitched in, up to this point in his career.
Jesse, that's absolutely the truth. And I know that obviously we're very excited about what the offense did, right? But I feel like it's just as significant about what Merrill did and what the, obviously what the bullpen did, holding the Dodgers to just 2 runs and just really limiting them tonight as far as what they were able to do offensively. I feel like there could have been maybe an option late where the Diamondbacks, maybe didn't, go to some of their best relievers or whatever, and maybe it allowed the Dodgers to kind of get a little bit of rhythm.
Shame Saval is not on the roster.
Yeah, like I was a little bit worried, like a position player might get out there and start throwing or something like that. But I was a little bit worried, especially when they started to get things going against Miguel Castro, because, again, this is.
They were leading 11-0, and we started getting worried.
We did.
we did.
Hurt. We are so hurt by this
scarred.
team. But it's also the fact that, they're rusty, right? So you don't want to see them even catch fire just late in this game.
Yeah.
Even if they don't win it, we don't want to see them
hope.
start getting things back on track for game 2 and game 3.
Yeah, momentum is it's a word that in this sport, I don't know if anyone knows if it's real or what exactly it is, but
it's magic. It's magic, Jesse.
Yeah, I mean, you have some sense that does exist. And if you're the D-backs, maybe you didn't want the Dodgers, scoring 6 runs or something in the last couple innings and, at least kind of salvaging some respect for themselves. I believe I heard this was the biggest loss by margin at Dodger Stadium that this Dodgers team has ever had. Maybe that was specifically in the postseason. Regardless, the Dodgers don't lose by 9 runs very often. That just doesn't really happen. The D-backs have been on the other side of a number of games like this. I remember the very first series that the Diamondbacks played this year was a 4-game set at Dodger Stadium, a series that the D-backs split while also being outscored by like 15 runs or something. The Dodgers won 2 blowout games, and the D-backs won 2 games, I think, by 1 run each. But they were very much on the other side of that in this game, just, silencing this crowd, like this Dodgers crowd. I guess good on them. There were still moments where they got pretty loud and pretty into it. Will Smith's 2-run triple when the Dodgers finally got on the board really late in this game, the crowd was into it. But, it still was not, it didn't even remotely compare to the environment that we're used to at Dodger Stadium. The reality is that within 12 minutes of this game, the D-backs had already scored way more runs, more than twice as many runs as the Dodgers would score in the entire game. And it was, this game was over in 12 minutes is basically how things worked out.
Which is hilarious for a fan base that notoriously does not get to the game on time. You know how sick I would be if I had paid a bunch of money for Dodger Stadium NLDS tickets? I show up 15 minutes late and the Dodgers are losing 6-0 already. Sick to my stomach. I would demand a refund.
He's also
from Kershaw personally.
He's also I think said the phrase can you imagine being a Dodgers fan? I think 15 times on this episode.
Could you
so
imagine?
Far. I don't know what the counter
Because if this
is
happened
out.
to the
We need a little
D-backs,
counter.
if this happened to the D-backs, we'd be like, man, the run was fun.
Yep.
It's the Dodgers, of course.
It's
HK.
Jover.
Yeah,
Yep.
that sucks. It
Yep.
wouldn't have. I would have been upset, obviously, but it would have been like, okay.
Yeah.
But if you're the Dodgers, oh boy, that's gotta suck.
And and he's right doing this thing. Yeah, get out of here with all of that. But
They were like rehearsing that before the game started. They were
just like, we're gonna get this in. No matter how.
You just blew Damon's mind. Oh no!
I think my casket blew off my head right there. That's infuriating.
That's a
Yeah,
crazy
I have to
Group of
say,
losers.
Diamondbacks fans. It'd be rough. They've really taken the freight train thing to heart. They've got like stuff. They've got all sorts of animations and stuff on the screen.
Freight train down 9 is insane.
Insane. The saddest.
Well, I'm talking about this was before the game started. This was before
What
the
are you
game
doing
started. that they were
practicing
running
That's
double
even
celebrations
crazier.
before the game?
That's it. We didn't
I can't
practice
answer.
ski. We didn't practice that. We just listened to the song one time in the background of the video. Jesse, before we let you go, what was more impressive to you on the offensive side of things? The fact that Corbin Carroll and Gabriel Moreno continue to kind of lead the way for this team as seasoned grizzled young veterans, I guess you could say, or Tommy Pham being the guy that goes 4 for 5 in the NLDS unexpectedly for a team that he wasn't even a part of, 3 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote about 5 X factors for the Diamondbacks going into this series before the game started, and Tommy Pham was one of them. He finished the season 4 for 31 in his last 5-10 games. He didn't have an extra base hit in that span. All 4 of those hits were singles. There were some walks in there, but he just wasn't really impacting the baseball. And then in the postseason, I mean, those first couple games in Milwaukee, Tommy Pham went 1 for 8. And he's your number 3 hitter, right? Like, you can't really afford for your number 3 hitter to have a 400 OPS or whatever for very long. So him turning it around, getting 4 hits in a game, hitting that home run at the end. Obviously, that home run wasn't particularly meaningful at the time, but I think it's a a really positive development for the Diamondbacks. Just seeing Tommy Pham, be able to turn things around, and he's obviously a really big part of this offense just by virtue of the fact that he hits third. And so, you can't afford for that guy in your lineup to have too much downtime. But yeah, I mean, Corbin Carroll and Gabby Moreno, I mean, what an introduction to the postseason, right? I mean, just being able to do this on that stage. Gabby, I asked him after the game, about just his ability to kind of come through and come into the spotlight like this and have the success that he's had. And, he basically just said, this is what I've been dreaming for. This is what I've been working toward up through the minors. Like, this is the big moment that I've been preparing for. And, it's not just him. It's Alek Thomas. It's Corbin Carroll. As we mentioned earlier, guys who are really young, who have just stepped right in on the biggest stage that they've ever faced and not at all been fazed by it.
Jesse, before we let you go, Patrick Lyons wants to know if we can get you to do one ski in the Dodgers in the Dodgers press box. I'm guessing that's a no, but I figured I wouldn't be doing my due diligence.
What does that even mean?
It's from a song.
I need to understand.
It's from a song.
It's literally just a sound that this woman makes in her song. Ski. She literally just says ski. It's like doesn't really mean anything. I don't think. I think it's just a sound.
It's just a sound.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. That's
that's kind of anticlimactic.
You see, he doesn't believe you anyway. But we asked, we tried.
You can't get mad at us, Patrick.
Jesse, big game obviously tomorrow with Zach Gallen, or not tomorrow because there is no game tomorrow. But on Monday, Zach Gallen will be on the mound for the Diamondbacks again against the aforementioned Miller. This matchup obviously just due to Zach Gallen's. I guess slight advantage there with experience is kind of favoring the Diamondbacks, but who knows? Who knows?
I mean,
we said that about this game, and I mean, we went over all the factors. We went over all the loss, all the bad luck that Merrill Kelly has had against the Dodgers, and then he did what he did tonight, and the Diamondbacks win in this fashion. So, analytics be damned, numbers in the past be damned. I'm just ready to watch a good baseball game against 2 very good young starting pitchers here that the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers both have in this game.
Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers at this point, it's not a 3-game series, it's a 5-game series, but the Dodgers still, they really can't afford to lose game 2, frankly. I mean, that's a really, really tough spot if you're down 0-2 in a 5-game series and you're heading on the road. That would be a really, really tough spot for them to come back from. So, you kind of figure they're gonna come out with a vengeance in game 2 against Zach Gallen and try to do to the Diamondbacks ace what the Diamondbacks just did to theirs, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, Bobby Miller is a young pitcher, but he's really good. Like Bobby Miller, if the Diamondbacks had Bobby Miller, he would be like a primary topic of conversation. Like he would be right up there with Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly as one of the best pitchers on this team. So. He doesn't necessarily have that level of experience, but it's hard to imagine, Mookie Betts and Freddie Friedman and some of the hitters in this Dodgers lineup just being quiet for multiple games in a row. So, yeah, we'll see what kind of, momentum, if that's a real thing. We'll see if the Diamondbacks are able to carry any of that into game 2. It is a little weird, like you mentioned, with the off day tomorrow. So there's a decent time gap between game 1 and game 2, but yeah, it's a game the Dodgers, frankly, cannot afford to lose.
And the Diamondbacks at this point can use, I think, any off days that they can get. Yeah. So happy to have it. And Jesse, we are happy to have you always joining us from wherever you're at, but especially there in LA for this big win. We appreciate it. Make sure to check out Jesse's piece on gophnx.com about those 5 X factors for the Arizona Diamondbacks, as well as follow him on Twitter at Jesse N. Friedman. Jesse, thank you again.
Thanks, guys.
See you tomorrow, or see you Monday. Not tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow. I won't be here. I'll be in Las Vegas, which I'm leaving for right now, by the way. And Jesse still thinks I'm a maniac for doing that. But, of course, on my way out of town, I will be stopping at Circle K. It is the place to stop to get not only fill up my car for cheaper than anywhere else, because I am a member of the Inner Circle membership program. It's free. You can get it, too, just by downloading the Circle K app. You don't have to know Chris Jericho. You don't have to know the words to Judas. You don't have to know any of that stuff. Those are all pro wrestling references. But what you do have to do is download the Circle K app today and join their Inner Circle. You'll get 25 cents off per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. Key for a road trip, as well as their wonderful snacks. Don't sleep on the Circle K snacks. You can get buy 5, get 6 1 free on Circle K products such as pizza, coffee, and ice cold fountain drinks. So join that Inner Circle membership program for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply. At participating locations, visit CircleK.com for details.
The Sweet Mesquite barbecue chip, Circle K brand chips have kind of
they're fire.
Taken over the office.
They're
a little
fire.
bit.
They're
Yeah, I had
absolute
them
fire.
yesterday. I'll be at Circle K after this show.
I absolutely will
Circle
be.
K after
I
the
will
show.
be there.
My gas light came on the way here, so
I
will
need gas.
definitely-
Yeah, me too.
I would be drinking a 4 Peaks right now in celebration, but I have to drive for 4 hours in the middle of the night through the desert. But you should celebrate with a 4 Peaks. Of course, it's the official craft beer of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Get yourself that Rattle on Red Ale. It is perfect for tailgates. It is perfect for all the times. Win or lose, you're good with booze with 4 Peaks. So make sure to check out, of course, Pumpkin Porter season is here now. You can get in the fall state of mind. It's back on the shelves and in draft lines throughout the valley. Do not miss that. It will be gone before you know it. Of course, make sure to visit 4peaks.com/locator to find all your favorite brewery tours and events. Stein Holding, Oktoberfest, and Haunted Brewery tours are all right around the corner. Of course, they don't want me to tell you this, but the Ghosts do make the beer at the 8th Street Pub. So if you're into that kind of thing.
I don't know why they don't publicize that.
I mean, I think it's the free Ghost labor.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the problem. But check out at 4 Peaks Brew at 4 Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest Arizona's hometown brewery. Must be 21 or older to drink 4 Peaks. And please drink responsibly.
Can I want before you get into your wrapping up the show, I want to say I saw a couple people, because Marcus said it, and there was someone earlier in the chat that talked about not getting the national respect. The D-backs not getting respect.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I like it like this.
We don't need it.
I like being the underdog.
Yeah.
I think the team does too.
Yeah.
They don't need to give us respect until we force them to give the respect with a ring.
Yeah.
Until then, let them keep sleeping, because that's how we got this far.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Damon, can we see the super chats one more time? I'm going to get all of those before we get out, because you guys are fucking awesome. Mitch Fleet said, stadium got so quiet, loved every second of it. This. Joey Hill said, Wednesday here at Chase Field, it's going to be electric, and we will be there. So make sure to follow us, and then we'll have some hijinks, and then I'll be back here. Our buddy BM, this is the best I can do. I'm sorry, comrade. The first playoff game in any sport that I've watched where I was not nervous in the slightest. Well, we did you didn't have time to be nervous.
Literally, by the time before you even realized what was going on, they were kicking ass already.
Alek HR, you're a beautiful human being. You said D-backs with a 200 IQ play getting swept by the Astros to avoid the Phillies Braves just to give Kershaw the worst outing of his career.
That's not checkers, baby.
Levels to
That's
this.
not checkers.
4D chess. He also said Mad Bum probably sleeping knowing he has a way better postseason record than Kershaw.
Don't let Mad Bum's Arizona Diamondbacks tenure distract you from the fact that he's arguably the greatest World Series pitcher in the history of the game.
He'll remind you of that quite often. And last but not least, Victor said, this is me dreaming. How sweet would it be if we ended the series and Kershaw's career in Game 4? Maybe we do it. Maybe we just end this in Game 3 and wrap it up in 3. I don't know. What if?
What if Clayton Kershaw's last ever game was tonight? Could you imagine that?
Could be.
It would feel pretty good. Being the guys
it'd feel so sweet, David. It would feel delectable.
Well, we will be back here. We will be back here 35 minutes before the game on Monday with our pregame show, and then back afterwards for our postgame. Do not miss joining us. I get one day off, and I'm going to spend that again at a reggae festival, pretending not to be a cop. Good luck on that. But anyway, you can follow us on Twitter.
I like reggae too.
Yeah. Hey, fellow students. I'm at Cap_caveman with a K.
Mad Bum back right now?
Shut up. Don't start with me. Don't turn off his mic.
Playoffs.
Damon, turn off your own mic.
For the yacht?
For the yacht.
Yes.
Oh,
You sick bastard. I'm in.
Stop it. You son of a bitch. I'm in. I'm at Cap_Caveman on Twitter. This guy over here, he's at Shawn Shawn_DePaz.
Yes, sir.
It's making me forget everything. Damon's still People's producer. He is a Damon Dog. That's DAWG. We are Damon's dogs. Of course, this show is at PHNX D-backs, but of course, all roads do lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. You're beautiful people. We love you so much. We appreciate your time. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it is so much more fun when you hang 6 runs on Kershaw and end his night in the first inning.
We all silly like the mayor.